ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Scrumpy Kiwi. Of course, I started that by saying evening. It could be morning, it could be midday where you are. But regardless, wherever you are, I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're well. I am well. At the moment, I may be getting poorly. The weather has changed. We are now very much, it feels like, in autumn. And of course, with autumn comes the dreaded autumn colds and the flu and all of those other disgusting illnesses that tend to cause various secretions from our bodies. Anyway, leaving that where it is, what have I been up to recently? Well, as you may be able to see, depending upon how well you can see, that was an unusual sentence, wasn't it? There's some DeathKorp of Krieg here. Now the camera angle, I do apologise, is not very good, but that's because I set this up in such a way that it's focused straight down on what I'm trying to film. Could I have readjusted? Of course I could have, but I didn't because I couldn't be bothered. It's a little bit late here and I just wanted to do something quick, and here we are. So, with no more further ado, DeathKorp of Krieg. So, I started the DeathKorp of Krieg. Why? Well, Games Workshop, in their infinite wisdom, which sometimes runs strikingly close to madness and perhaps incompetence. Not ragging on Games Workshop, let's not get political, but I think it's fair to say they do on occasion have some peculiar marketing choices. Anyway, regardless, Games Workshop have decided to bring out plastic DeathKorp of Krieg, which of course used to be exclusively Forge World. Well, now that they have brought out that plastic box set, you better believe that I was going to get some, because I've always wanted to start DeathKorp of Krieg. I love the aesthetic, I love the lore behind them. I really quite enjoy the idea of making them. From a hobbying perspective, I personally find them very interesting. That sort of pseudo World War One aesthetic they've got going on, I think is very intriguing. So that's why it was such a joy to grab a box or two and make them, get them painted up, and now present them to you. So what have I got here? Well, I've got 5 of them made, as you can see. I have another 5 made and painted, but the bases are drying. So I'll show you the ones I've done so far. So these are all just standard Krieg infantry. Some of them are equipped with various different bits and pieces, but for the sake of the tabletop, they are all just riflemen, with we do have a medic there in the background, and in the rest of the squad there is a melter gun and a plasma gun. But with the exception to those 3 exceptions, everyone else is just carrying a las gun, with of course a special nod to the Watchmaster. Just there, he has a plasma pistol and a power sword, because of course he does. He's the Watchmaster. So let's have a little look, shall we, and see what we can see. So can we see anything? Oh, is it going to focus? Use the magic hand. Whoa, look at this, see? There we go, look at that. Oh, it's like the future, but not really. So, there he is. I'm quite happy with him, to be honest with you. I think he looks quite nice. The details all come out very nicely. He looks suitably grimy and grubby. So, I will go through what I used in just a sec, but I'm just going to let you guys have a little look. See, now these are just my standard line infantry, so I wasn't going to spend absolutely ages on them, but I did want to make them look a little nice, but I also wanted to make them look a little bit grubby. So on the back of the, oh, there we go, oh, focus, come on now. If you can see on the bottom of the coats, I've got a little bit of mud on there just to make sure that they look like they've been doing their business. Doing their business, that makes it sound like they've pooed themselves. What I meant to say is it looks like they've been doing their... No, I want to stick with doing their business. That's the phrase I picked, and that's the phrase I'm keeping. Oh, we're nearly 5.5 minutes in. Let's keep it under 10 minutes. So, who have we got here? Well, we've got this demolition expert, but of course, as I said, he's just a rifleman. But when you've got the option of building a man with a detonator and a big old explosive mine and whatever he's up to back here, he's having a scratch of his bum. No, he's not. He's grabbing some det cord. These models are really fun to make. They're absolutely wonderful. There's just so many little bits and pieces you can add to them to really just make your own special brand of awesome. Yeah, let's go with that. That's a sentence. But just, I mean, look at them. They're just so lovely posed. Each one of them is almost like a little mini diorama. I just love this model especially. I just love, it's quintessentially Astra Militarum, isn't it? Just your ordinary bloke or bloquette out in no man's land, rigging up an explosive, covered in mud, just trying to do their job. Trying to, get some stuff set up and then get back to the trenches where it's relatively safe. So yeah, there we are. Let's quickly have a look at the other ones. Who's this chap here? I like this one. This one's quite good. Nothing says Krieg quite like a guy with a bayonet charging forward. There he is. Whee! I like their bayonets. I like their bayonets a lot more than the standard Astra Militarum bayonets. I like that they're sort of those triangular bayonets. Makes them look a little bit more vicious. There we go. As you can see, more mud on the coat. I love their backpacks. All the little extra gubbins you can add on just to make them look really, like they're all kitted out. So there we go. Let's go down here. I'm going to save the medic for last because he's my favourite. I think I've said that now 3 times, but you can have more than one favourite, So here we go. This guy's known as the Zealot, or so it says on the thing. Here we go. Oh my goodness me, there's nothing in his book. What on earth could he possibly be reading? Well, of course, we all know he doesn't need any actual words in there. He's probably memorised it already. But yeah, love that. Look at that little radio pack. Lovely. Again, I like that it's different from the Astra Militarum. That's what I really like about Krieg. It really does... You get a real great idea with some of these specialised Astra Militarum units. Specialised, you know what I mean? These like specific regiments, like from different planets. You know what I'm trying to say, guys? You know what I'm trying to say? Your different planets are going to have different look, armour, weapons, etc. Krieg for me really stands out from everyone else because their equipment just looks so utilitarian. It looks hardy, it looks resistant, it looks simple but effective, and that's what I love. These guys don't have time to make stuff look pretty. As long as it works, they don't care. Now this one I love. This one's a little bit of a kit bash because I wanted a medic who was also running, but there were certain bits and pieces from other poses that I wanted more than, you know, what I should have done with the models. So here we go, and I've added extra bits and pieces. So yeah, this is my medic charging forward with his little bag. I made sure I got some mud on that because of course he's been very busy. Oh cool, now's a good time to lose focus. There's his backpack, and there's the little, I did the little flask on his back red just because, well, maybe there's blood in there or something, I don't know. There's muddy old boots charging forward. I gave him a Cadian, I don't know, some accessories there just because I thought as a medic I wanted him to be really loaded out with as much stuff as possible. Here we go, and him charging forward. There we go, and I made sure that I got the little crest on there as well. That actually was a head from a different, had a different intended pose, so I took that cut off the gas tube because that wouldn't, the rebreather tube, because that wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have fit in the right place. And so he's not got one, but he's a special snowflake. He doesn't need one. And yeah, there we are. And so it's got him charging forward through the mud off to rescue some poor chap who's probably been blown halfway to hell. So there we are. Little quick look at what I've been up to, what I've been working on. I think you got the idea pretty well. So what was I using to paint these? Yeah, that's good grammar, wasn't it? That sounded brilliant. So what was I using to paint them? Well, I have been using Army Painter's Speed Paint Starter Set. Yes, I'm sat in my living room right next to a busy road, and I've chosen to record this at the time where it seems everyone is deciding to come home. Regardless, let's crack on. I'm going to very quickly go and talk about this because I don't want to go on too long. But Army Painter Speed Paint Starter Set essentially is your contrast paints from Games Workshop. It seems that everybody now has had the idea to bring out these magic paints created through some combination of alchemical science and witchcraft. I don't understand how they work, but they're wonderful and amazing, and I love them because they've made my painting 3 times faster and 3 times better looking, and I really, really appreciate that because I like my guys to look halfway decent, and my phone is now deciding to completely flip out and try and focus on I'm not even sure what. But going back to what I was talking about, yes, so the speed paints, as we can see here, ooh, lovely. They 3 different effects. Once it's dried, usually I found in my experience with these that within about 24 hours, that's when you really saw the best effects. So you really wanted to, between layers, give it a good amount of time to dry. There is some issue with the paint reactivating if you've not given it long enough to dry. I did find this initially, so I very much I adopted this habit of just giving them a little bit to dry. Now, I understand there's an irony to speed paint taking a while to use, to finish your models with, but the results, in my opinion, are worth the wait. So I don't know. It's for me, I've never taken the term speed paint literally. For me, it's just another way of painting, but one that is quite convenient because the effects which I'm trying to achieve are much easier to achieve, if that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it does. I don't know. Of course, Nuln Oil, Agrax Earthshade were in there as well. You cannot. It's the law, it's the rules, yeah? You have to use Nuln Oil if you are painting miniatures, especially DeathKorp of Krieg. So yeah, a couple times those came out to just add a little bit of definition and depth and some shade to certain areas, and it's definitely worked out. Very thin layers though, that's what I learned, very thin layers, no need to drown them in it, just a little bit here and there. And then for the bases, I used this Soilworks acrylic paste spring soil. This stuff is the business. That is the hounds rounds, the mutts nuts. It is absolutely brilliant. I love it because once you've stuck it down on the base, give it a little bit of a highlight once it's dried, and then stick some of this very lovely, he shows you the side without the writing on it, and again, there we are. Oh cool, now my camera's not going to, I don't know if you can see that, there we go. Technical Art Coat. Very, very common. Probably everyone's seen it by this point. If you haven't, well, you're not missing out on much, apart from you get this very nice gloss finish, which on your models may not necessarily be what you want, but when you're trying to recreate wet, soaking, sludgy mud, it's absolutely great. So as you can see, or perhaps you have seen, or already seen, or can see from here, they are all running around and slipping and sliding about on gross, lovely, sloppy mud. So there we are. That is my DeathKorp of Krieg. I will, of course, be doing another video where I look at the box I've not yet made, so we can have a look at the sprues, get an idea of what they look like, get an idea of how much stuff you get in a box, and we'll have a little chat about that. I will be working on some mortar teams at some point. I've also got from Cromlech on the way very soon 3 of their new walkers. They're sentinel, not sentinels, if people who know. So that's something to look forward to, as well as I've also done a Death Marshal who was a sculpt from War Games exclusive, which of course I will be showing off at some point as well. So lots to come, lots to look at, and I may even do a little bit more of a talk about how I found the Army Painter speed paints, because I very much enjoyed using them. There we go, I just did a yawn, and I imagine that made a few of you yawn as well. So there we have it, guys. Thank you for sticking around this long. If you have stuck around, I appreciate it. I will be coming at you again with another video soon-ish, maybe. See, I covered all bases then. I made sure that I didn't commit to anything. So I've gone over my time limit, naughty, but forgive me, I'm still a little bit rusty. Anyway, I've started, instead of going and and in videos now, I now just have substituted that for saying anyway. Hopefully we can nip that in the bud. And also at some point, sorry to completely go off at another tangent, at some point we can talk about this. Ooh, yeah, that's right, finally got some of this stuff. So that's right, baby, puddles everywhere. Puddles for miles. But that's going to be on the bigger bases. So guys, lots to look forward to. I hope you're all enjoying whatever you're painting, making, modelling, playing, whatever you're doing. I hope you're having a good time, guys. Stay safe, look after yourselves, enjoy what you're doing, and I will see you next time on the Scrumpy Kiwi. Bye-bye.